Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the SA Lube F4 Cup of Season 4, ladies and gentlemen. And we are back. We are here, bigger than ever. And we're going to have a bit of fun at the Virginia International Raceway out in the USA. We're going to have a bit of fun climbing up and down this hill, challenging our drivers throughout the entire season of the SA Lube F4 Cup. And it is going to be exciting because we have got a stacked field of new drivers, returning drivers, and drivers that have been out of sim racing for some time, and others that have been coming from the world of Assetto Corsa Competizione to the likes of iRacing. How's that? It's going to be a bit of fun, and we're going to see it all live. Taking a look, we got Indibali in the grid. We've also got Productive Panda going and saying, how's it, and supporting Yako. Good to see you out here. Good to see the support for a fellow Pandacity driver. Let's take a look at our driver lineup. We have got pros, we got pro-ams, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So, let's move over as they heading into qualifying, and our drivers are trying to get the best lap possible. So, out in front, out of the box first, Cameron De Bastos moving over and having a bit of fun, came third in his first season in the F4s. He's looking to try and get a goal to claw his way to the top. Troy Dolanchik, the retaining champion, coming in for a fight and looking to stand on top of all the giants at this point. Ryan Ottens in second place. And then we've got Tristan de Norbrugge in third. So our driver's having a bit of fun out there. Farney Gravenstein out in fourth place. He is first of our pro-ams at the moment. Peter Meyer returning after some time off. He is lying in fifth place. Alex Pitro coming in to have a bit of fun. Alex and his dad, Vic Pitro, coming and having a great time, joining back in single-seaters. For anyone that doesn't know the Pitro name, go take a look at the old Formula Libra. They used to race a Formula GTI, and now getting back behind the wheel of a single-seater just makes it even more exciting, especially since I've known them for that little bit of time. So taking a look, we get a little bit of that audio, a bit of the ambience to come through, because why not? Herman Lazarus also out on the circuit, the cheaper cars.co.za driver looking to make an impact here tonight. Luke Picchesi, followed by Yuri Umpi Swart. Leon Vessels, one of our new drivers, coming and having a bit of fun out on the track. Good to see him out there. Issam Domingo going and moving over from Assetto Corsa Competizione into the world of iRacing from Project Vapor, which is always fantastic to see. Christopher Bush is out on circuit, and a returning Christopher Radloff. Good to see Christopher Radloff. Also coming from Real World Motorsport, transitioned over into sim racing, was racing with Hybrid Academy, and is now in Alpha 1 Esports. But it's good to have him back, and also the countdown has begun between him and Chloe Ellison, so, well, soon to be Chloe Radloff. Mayath Musa out on track. Nico, we got Werner Swart jumping his way up. Vic Pitro out on track. Chandra Kiriman, Artie Nachel, Brandon Roberts, along with Vainan Kursov, who went and rode a bicycle for an absurd amount of kilometers, going and having a bit of fun. And good to see him back behind the wheels. At least it's got an engine this time, Vaynant, and well done on your great feat. Rolof Tolman, Jakob Krobler is also going to be out on track. We got Noah Hendricks returning. Willem Buerta, our retaining club champion, looking to make an impact once again tonight. And love to see it. Tenvo going and saying, let's go Omninus. I keep getting it. OG Gaming. So OG. Gabriel De Santos also saying, let's go PV. So really, really excited to see you guys out here enjoying the action. So far at the top of the chart is Troy Dolanchik with a 148.2. And fastest of the cars out there doing the 229 kilometers an hour. Luke Lucchese put himself into second place, utilizing a bit of a slipstream at the moment. The RDSA driver looking to move forward and go and beat out the young guns. If you guys want to keep up to date with all the live timing, we do have the pit wall software up. Go look in the description, click on it, and it'll show you all the drivers. Big thank you to likes of THC Productions giving us that pit wall and going and ensuring that we can keep track of all our favorite drivers. Ryan Otten's going and dropping down into fourth place as Yuri Umpiswat puts himself into second place. Tristan de Nordbrugge holding fifth. Nico Killerman moving up. Now, Nico Killerman is ready to have a lot of fun in the Pro Division, but he's got to keep an eye because Timothy Stanton, now for anyone that doesn't quite remember last season, Timothy Stanton was our winner for the Pro-Am class and dominated that championship. He has now been promoted up into Pro and is putting in a great bit of effort there, lying in 7th place in the overall position and in class. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Timothy duke it out with the pros a little bit more this time in terms of championship points. It gives him something to go for. Byron Mitchell out on circuit, ready to have a bit of fun. Christopher Radloff and Andre Serradio going and doing everything they can. Issam Domingo moving himself up into 11th position, and we've got Pierre Meyer of Vibe Racing going and trying to push his way forward. Mahath Musa is also clawing his way through. Used to having a front engine BMW to toss around the circuit. This time out, he is in the F4. Couple of also interesting names to talk about. Vasil Fomat, our Ukrainian driver, coming all the way out from Ukraine just to come and race here at Virginia International. Also, winner of their F4 championship, so part of the fastest in Ukraine, and has done a phenomenal time going and so showing off for the Autosport of Ukraine. Good to have him here, and this is what I love to see. We love to see drivers from different countries all looking to duke it out in this race. Timbo saying definitely not Vibe Racing. Then he needs to update his SDK. Just want to point that out. Needs to update it, but we'll sort that out, don't stress. So while Vasil makes his way around, Jandre Kierman also out on circuit, ready to have a bit of fun, and Rulf Tolman is looking to move his way up through the order. He's at the bottom, so there's only 4 drivers that haven't been able to put in a time, and that is Noah Hendricks, Veno Kursup, Rolof Tolman, and Jaco Krobler of Pandacity, sporting the old Canon colors, the old Renault colors, hoping that claws his way up through the order. Actually had a bit of a chat to him, driving with him, and getting to show a little bit of the circuit. He's not too comfortable with this track, but starting to get to grips with it. That's good to have him. Timbo, give me a shout, drop me out on Discord, and I'll more than happy be able to assist if needed. Luke Lucchese, top of the charts, dethroning Troy Dolanczyk, a 1:47.81, and take a look at Troy Dolanczyk trying to close down the gap, ensuring that he can at least get a better lap time to jump his rival that is in the race. So Troy Dolanczyk really needs to put the hammer down, 0.177, but Yuri Umpiswat is what I want to talk about, 0.027. right behind Troy Dolanczyk. Then you got Ryan Otten, 0.526, and Tristan de Nordbrugge right on the back of him, 0.026. Nico Killerman, 0.018. I mean, these times are getting so close to everyone. It's been a absolute run of note to see the guys putting in all the effort for round 1, season 4, the SA Lube F4 Championship. And it has really been quite enjoyable, as Innovator says, watching these guys, how they've improved, how they keep going, and how they push themselves to the limit. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in Just an Average Sim Racer going, and shout out for Brandon Roberts, who is also out on circuit. He's racing in our Pro-Am, so there he is. So great to see. Really bad gamer guy going and supporting Leon Vessels in his first ever race. Now, I did not know that little bit of information, but I love to hear it. So we have got Leon Vessels, who is trying to go and ensure that he puts a absolute firm stance on the race. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give him a round of applause. First race, and I've got to say, first name in the race. So really, really excited to see a young gun really going and fighting it out. I like to see that my livery is being used. Yes, I know the feeling. I really know the feeling. So out on the top of the charts, Luke Lucchesi leads out for our pros. Cameron DeBastos leads out for our pro-ams. Interesting stuff there. Still trying to go and fight out the run and ensuring that he can go and get a little bit ahead. He's got Andre Serradio. Now, these two have got a bit of history, along with Issam Domingo and Mahath Musa. I do want to point this out. All four drivers come from the world of Assetto Corsa Competizione. All four have gone and absolutely gone to war with one another. That's the only way I could say it. In past races. Now they're having to do it on entirely new cars, entirely new circuit, entirely new series. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that's going to work. Yuri Swart went and said that Troy Dolanchik will lose his crown. This season, Troy Dolanchik will have his crown successfully removed. The king will fall to Yuri Swart. Luke Lucchesi, though, is going to put a dinger on that one. And Byron Mitchell is also looking to really stamp his ground as well, looking to join in the fight. So it's really, really exciting to hear how this is all going to go, how the drivers are going to have to push themselves. They're going to have to find those limits and go out of it just that little bit more, because the grids have gotten faster. The stakes keep getting higher, and the pride is what everyone is going for. Reminder of last season as Troy Dolanchik takes first place. He won with 360 points. Yuri Swart came in second place, 349 points. And Ryan Ottens of Alpha One Esports gained 242 points, managing to jump into third place ahead of Johan Free on 237 points. So Ryan Ottens just taking that third place spot last season. Timothy Stanton finished up on our Pro-Ams and on 362 points. He has been promoted up into the pros, but he was our Pro-Am champion. Well, he is our Pro-Am champion for Season 3. This time, he will be handing over the crown. The two-time champion will, three-time champion for our F4s will be handing over the crown. Fani Gremesine finished up in second place in the championship. He is currently 8th on in class at the moment, 20th on circuit, and third place is Cameron DeBastos, taking his first ever podium in iRacing, managing to jump ahead of Doe Ferber of the likes of Team Triad. So Troy Dolanchik comes across the line as our qualifying is nearing its end. Our two RDSA drivers trying to utilize the slipstream, and it does look like they're holding each other up in the process. Luke Lucchesi fighting to try and figure out where can he get past his fellow teammate, who is not going to give him an easy run here. Tristan de Norberger is going to try pull him along, but without trying to lose time as well. He wants to jump up through the order. So these two will be going and keeping on top of one another. And there's a spin collection, and Luke Lucchesi is out of getting that lap. And I think Tristan de Norberger as well going and losing out his time right at the end. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are going racing. So let's take a look at our grid. We have got Troy Dolanchik out in first place, Luke Lucchesi, Yuri Swart, Byron Mitchell, Willem Buerta, Ryan Ottens, Tristan de Norberger, Nico Killerman, Peter Meyer, Timothy Stanton, Christopher Radloff, Cameron de Bastos going and finishing up in that 12th, followed by Andre Serradio, Issam Domingo, Doherber, Mahath Musa, Brandon Roberts, Jean-Jay Kierman, Werner Swart, Noah Hendricks, Fanny Gravenstein, Yuppie Simons, Herman Lazarus, Artie Knuckle. Going further down, we have got Leon Vessels in 25th position, Vessel Lewin in 26th, 27th, Alex Petro, Vasil Vermaat in 28th, Vayner Kursop in 29th, 30th, Christopher Birch, followed by Vic Petro, Jaco Krobler, and Rudolf Tolman right at the end of the grid. But we are going to be going racing, ladies and gentlemen, and as said, we have got a Pro and a Pro-Am class, so it is on for all our drivers to ensure they get to the top spot. All eyes will be on Troy Dolanchik. Can he get a 4th season under his belt? Can he get a great start? Well, with an iRating of 7,000, I think he's going to give it his best shot. Luke Lucchesi in 2nd place, really looking to lock and load and get the jump on Yuri Swart. Byron Mitchell going and gnawing his teeth together to get ready to go for the fight. Willem Buerta lying in 5th place. Ryan Ottens in 6th. Tristan de Norberger in 7th. 8th, Nico Killerman. Peter Meyer. Timothy Stanton in his debut outing in the Pro class, looking to make it work. Lights are on as we count down. Lights up, lights down, and away we go racing. It looks like Troy Dolanchik off to a flyer of the start, trying to defend against Luke Lucchesi. Yuri Swart doing everything he can to try and go for the inside line. Can he get it all hooked up? And he has got Yuri Swart around the outside. And we do have a bit of contact in the back. Couple of cars jostling around. And unfortunately, it looks like we got quite a bit of carnage that's kicked in under turn 1. Luke Lucchesi going and doing everything he can. Bit of a flipping car going on. That's Ryan Ottens. Ryan Ottens, unfortunately, having a bit of contact there and throwing one of the RDSA drivers off, and gets passed by Mahath Musa, who's now going to stand on the gas to try and get some ground. Cameron Bastos right onto the back of Andre Serradio. But it is crazy as we got cars going and getting towed to the pits off the start of the race. Troy Dolanchik trying to shake off a little bit of that ring rust, getting a little bit of a gap to Yuri Swart, who took a late dive on Luke Lucchesi. Now Luke is going to be in the tow with Byron Mitchell very close behind, and will be pushing as hard as he can to try and get onto the inside as they're looking to complete their first lap. Climbing up the hill, you're going to be going into a left-hander. It's going to be a slight lift off the throttle and then slowly onto the brakes, not to upset the car. Flick it in to the tight right-hand hairpin and then get back on the gas all the way down the hill. Don't let go of the throttle at all, otherwise you were going to compromise a serious amount of drive as they boot their way around the track. So couple of cars in the pits. Vayner Kursop, Christopher Bush, Vic Petro, Issam Domingo, Jean-Andre Kierman, Alex Petro, all in the pits, now needing a bit of work on their cars. Byron Mitchell keeping in the tow, does look to the outside, looks to the inside, backs out of it, going to keep on with the follow, but unfortunately not having enough pace. He's going to wait it out at this point to see what happens. Time starting to come down on all the drivers as they're getting used to the vehicles, getting used to the circuit, and the ever evolving run of it. Byron Mitchell hoping to stick around, but Troy Dolanchik lost a bit of drive. Luke Lucchesi, Yuri Swart, and Byron Mitchell all now within arm's reach of him, and will be looking to get past Yuri Swart after narrowly losing the championship. And I mean narrowly. It came down to the final heat of the race, and that was the decider. As they make their way up through the snake, it is side by side, but Yuri going and second guessing the fight out of Troy Dolanchik. He's going to get into the tow, pull himself along. Now it's into the double right-hander, hard on the brakes, looks on the inside, couldn't get it all booked up, will stand on the gas as they claw their way around. Our top 4 not leaving anything on the table. Troy Dolanchik trying to break the tow as much as possible. Yuri Swart, though, will get a little bit more drive. Going to go around the outside. Going to be difficult. Needs to get his front wheels into the left-hander. Hard on the brakes and just getting it boxed in. Yuri Swart getting the pass. And it looks like we... And we are back. Sorry for that, ladies and gentlemen. We seem to be having some fun times in the world of internet connections. So, Yurian Piswat in first place, Troy Dolanchik in second place as they're trying to carve their way through. They've now caught up to the back markers that have been in the pits. And I can see one of the pit rows is just ahead of them, watching this mob come through. Troy Dolanchik, Yurian Piswat, Byron Mitchell, and Luke Lucchese still on top of one another. Yuri getting forced to the outside as Troy Dolanchik trying to make his way through, does put a little bit of a lean on him. So Troy, every time he thinks he can just get a little bit more of a pass, he's not having an easy time there. Had to back out of it as Petro gets off the gas a little bit, lets the cars go, and for them to continue their fight. A little bit further down, though, everyone starting to get into their own little fight. And it does look like Jakob Krobler, unfortunately, dropping off circuit. Side by side, it goes for the lead. And Troy Dolanchik just able to get on the inside. It did look like one of the Alpha 1 Esports was parked off onto the side, trying to get himself up and going. Not quite sure who that one is. Byron Mitchell hoping to go on the attack of Yurian Piswat, who's lost a huge amount of drive. And it does look like Troy Dolanchik actually losing out that little bit of drive. So Byron Mitchell trying to come back at him. These four are not backing down. Luke Lucchese, though, has dropped off the train. He's decided, you know what, I'm going to let you guys duke it out. We've got a bit of time here. It's 20 minutes of racing. And I don't want to go and bin the car just as yet. Lap time starting to drop down, though, and starting to become more and more into the favor of someone who protects their tires in the long run. Byron Mitchell up on the inside, looking to go late on the brakes and looking to put Yuri straight in the middle of himself and Troy Dolanchik as he dives up on the inside, getting on the gas as early as he can. Yuri now on the inside with Troy Dolanchik trying to get on the right up his gearbox to just try and shove his way through. Does so, and now Luke Lucchese back into the fray. As much as I want to go down the field to look at some of the amazing racing out there, we have still got our top four that is in a monumental battle of note. In our Pro-Am class, Cameron de Bastos, Werner Swart, Andres Rodio, and Vesi Lewin going and having a monstrous run between one another. And it's great to see racing right the way through. Yes, we have had some incidents off the start, and Yurian Piswat's off the circuit, trying to rejoin nice and carefully, but will lose out 3 positions. So Troy Dolanchik, Byron Mitchell, Yurian Piswat, just keeping ahead of Luke Lucchese, and I think just putting his rear wheel just over the nose of Luke Lucchese, who had to back off the throttle and choose not to get involved in that fight. Now Byron Mitchell, he spent some time behind both of them looking to go and fight it out. These two have some beef in the real world. Both Byron Mitchell and Troy Dolanchik have gone nose to tail racing in the Formula 1600 more than once. They have gone and fought it out in the Libra class down in Killarney, and now they're going to do it all over again right here at Virginia International for the first round of the SA Lube F4 Championship. Moving a little bit down, we do have Christopher Radloff, who's trying to keep himself together in 5th place. Cameron de Bastos trying to close down the gap. Maeth Musa immediately onto the back of him. Werner Swart a little bit further back. He's in 8th place. Andres Saradia, Noah Hendricks, Vesey Lewin, along with Nico Killerman trying to make up some time as well. So good to see that he is pushing a little bit harder. We've got Herman Lazarus, Yuppie Simons, also a new name coming in, and well, now that's a picture and a half. That's a picture that only your mother could love. But who do I know? He doesn't quite have the same smile. Taking a look further down, Brandon Roberts in 7th place. Artie Nafel, Doe Herber down the order as well. He's down 4 positions from where he started. Timothy Stanton also down the order. He's in 18th position. Vasil Famart up 5 positions from where he started. Fanny Gravestein, Willem Buerta, Leon Vessels up in 22nd position. Still going to give it everything he's got. Ryan Otten's down the order, trying to make his way back up. Peter Meyer trying to also claw his way up through the after an incident early on. John Ray Kierman, Alex Petro, Vainan Kursup, Issam Domingo, Jaco Krobbe, along with Christopher Busch, Tristan de Nurburgring, Vic Pitro in the pits, and Rolf Tolman. Unfortunately, not on the cards tonight. He had to retire the car. So some proper racing. And even we got Hunty Myberg jumping in to say some lacquer racing out there. Most certainly some awesome racing, and really looking forward to see how the guys are going to do it. This is Heat 1 of the SA Lube F4 Cup. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We do have a Heat 2 coming up, and we will be taking our top 5 and reversing the grid. So from 1st to 5th, reverse them round, and you will be having a bit of fun. I see Tristan Nurburgring, unfortunately, having a bit of a fall-off on the circuit. Let's go and take a look what happened to him. RDSA esports driver not having an easy time. Caught behind, that looks to be Ryan Ottens. The rear just snapped out, and unfortunately causing a little bit of a spin. Had to bring it back after quite a bit of time stationary. So that being said, it is all on the cards for our drivers to improve their times now. We have got 4 rounds in a season bi-weekly championship, which means every second week we will have a race. Each race consists of 2 heats. So you have a total of 8 races to contend with for your championship to ensure that you can walk away with the crown. Yuri and Pissoir taking the fight to Troy Dolanchik. Couldn't get it again just as yet. Luke Lucchesi now trying to gain a little bit of time. Byron Mitchell going up on the inside, hoping that that's going to work. 4 wide is not going to work on this straight, ladies and gentlemen. But you can see that Yuri wants to make it happen. Into the corner. This is going to be close. Who's going to be late on the brakes? And Byron Mitchell a little bit later, fighting it out with Troy Dolanchik, who runs out wide, loses out the drive to Luke Lucchesi, who's now on the outside, will be switching to the inside. Yuri and Pissoir will be going and gaining a little bit of time, goes around the outside, tries to come back at him, and managing to get into that 3rd place spot. But well done on the drivers down the hill to get that all sorted out. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. It looks like we do have another yellow flag for Leon, who unfortunately had a bit of a problem. Let's take a look what happened to him. His first race out, and unfortunately the F4s can be extremely punishing under the brakes, and also when the rear snaps out like it just did. Back up to our running order though. Byron Mitchell leading out the pack for the first time this race, with Troy Dolanchik in 2nd place, sliding the car around. Those rear tires starting to take a massive beating. Yuri and Pissoir a little bit further back, and Luke Lucchesi lying in 4th place. Christopher Radloff now starting to close the gap, starting to see that there is a dent in the armor, that there is time to be gained here. Everyone is fighting with one another. So Christopher Radloff is going to dig deep on this one. He's going to have to think what's going to work for him to claw his way to the top. Mahath Musa getting ahead of Cameron de Bastos, but Cameron is in a race for the Pro-Am, so he is now chasing Mahath Musa as hard as he can, keeping in that slipstream to try and pull away from Werner Swart, who is closing down the gap at a rate of knots. Andres Radio is also trying to gain a bit of time. He's a little bit further back, 3rd place in class though, and will have Noah Hendricks all over the back of him, trying to force a mistake at this point. So Noah Hendricks is going to try and look for any way to get ahead and get going once again. He's going to look for the inside line. Can he go late on the brakes though? Not going to be an easy run, but it looks like he is going to get given the space. Back up to our running order though. We've got Byron Mitchell and Troy Dolanchik currently fighting out. 1st, 2nd, and Yuri Umpi-Swart now in 3rd place, hoping to gain a bit of time around the outside. Late on the brakes. Can he get the momentum out of turn 1? No, he gets pushed out wide. And now Troy Dolanchik has opened up that little bit of breathing room at this point. So he is trying everything he can to keep it going. Joe Tube going and jumping in. It's actually nice to see Joe Tube jumping in. For anyone that doesn't know, that's, correct me if I'm wrong, that's Joe-Tech Racing. You guys make sim rigs, if I'm correct. And I know a lot of our racers are actually using your rigs built in South Africa. Go take a look at Joe-Tech. Actually, really good. You know, SA Lube drivers are going and actually using a couple of their rigs with direct drives and load cell pedals. So who says that we need to always import stuff? No, we've got local manufacturers that can rival the quality of our overseas competitors. Yuri Swart onto the back of Troy Dolenchik, really looking up that back of the gearbox and thinking, if I just had a Super Formula push to pass or an Indy car push to pass, it could make that little bit of a difference. He's going to go side by side though, getting forced all the way onto the fringes of the circuit. Can he go a little bit? Braking late, touches the grass, gets it all hooked in and runs out wide, but can he get on the gas early enough? Does so. Troy Dolenchik does look on the inside, really looking to go for a pass here. Unfortunately, door slammed shut, trellis door shut, everything, electric fencing, bob wiring, and even electrifying the barbed wire to ensure they're keeping Troy Dolenchik at bay. But this is not going to help his time, because even if they reverse the grid, he will still be mid-grid. He needs to try and push himself up a little bit higher, or if he wants to get a better run, he needs to drop off to the likes of Luke Lucchese and Christopher Radloff if he wants to try and get that going. But it's detrimental to the points as well. It's a toss-up whether you're going to make that work or not. Byron Mitchell keeping ahead of Yuri Swart. Yuri trying to look on the inside, looking on the left, looking on the right, trying to see where is he going to get past this Durant Motorsport vehicle. Well, he utilizes this Durant Motorsport vehicle to get ahead of fellow Durant Motorsport vehicle Byron Mitchell, who goes sideways, trying to get it all hooked up. Byron Mitchell just getting ahead of Yuri Swart, who've also got it wrong. Both drivers really leaning in now, seeing what they can do, and that's slowly dropping them into the clutches of Troy Dolenchik. Lockup coming in as time's ticking over, as we nearly into the 4-minute mark left of this race, and Luke Lucchese has spun. Luke Lucchese's dropped out. He's dropped 2 positions. He's dropped behind Christopher Adloff, and he's going to drop back behind Mahath Musa, who is starting to close down. Nope, he's just getting ahead of Mahath Musa. But now Mahath Musa sees class position ahead of him, and he is going to be absolutely flooring it at this point to try and gain some time. For the first time, Mahath Musa and Luke Lucchese are doing battle in the same machinery. They've met each other out on circuit in LDMH cars right here at RaceFace.Pro, but they have not done battle in wheel-to-wheel, open-wheel action, as we see a couple of cars diving into the pits. Willem Buerta pitting at the moment, Christopher Busch, and Timothy Stanton coming into the pits. So, a couple of drivers still getting those pit stops underway. It's not mandatory, but if you score a bit of damage, if the tires are starting to fade out on you, start thinking safe. Get to the checkered flag. That's what you want to do. Byron Mitchell just keeping ahead of Yuri Swart. Troy Dolenchik currently in 3rd place. Looks up on the inside, looks up on the outside, trying to figure out what's going to work for him. How is he going to gain this time? Because it's all running out. JoeTube, I like that. Local is lacquer, definitely, because we have got some of the best racing out here that even international competitors like Vasil from us coming and joining in. He's running in the 18th position so far and looking to really stand on the gas. Yuri Swart right up against the back of Byron Mitchell. Looks for the inside line. Couldn't get it all sorted out. Troy Dolenchik trying to come back at him. Not able to do so. Will hope to get a little bit more of a tow as they start catching the number 11 car of Peter Meyer just ahead of him. So Peter's going to be watching those mirrors left and right. He's been out of sim racing for quite some time, and he's hoping that tonight will be the night. Had some problems, but he's starting to make some gains. Yuri Swart does get put on the outside line. Tries to go for a switchback. A little bit of contact between himself and Byron Mitchell, and Troy Dolenchik tried capitalizing on him. Unfortunately, so close to contact between the two of them. Thankfully, no damage to both cars. 2 minutes to go though, and it is all or nothing. Full send or nothing at this point to make it work. A little bit further down, we have got Werner Swart putting himself into 1st place. Cameron Bastos down into 2nd place. So he's lost the lead, unfortunately. Andres Radio in 3rd place of our Pro-Ams, battling out with Noah Hendricks. So absolutely awesome stuff. Let's see how Cameron lost out that 1st place, so And I think it was running out a little bit. Oh, the rear just snapping out too early on the throttle. And that just snapped the rear out from underneath him. And that's how you lose out the position. So he's going to have to work hard to bring it back. Byron Mitchell gaining a bit of time. Peter Meyer just ahead of him. He will be a blue flag. So they will be keeping an eye on him. And Peter Meyer will be warned. Blue flag, blue flag, blue flag. Best mind out of the way, because you have essentially got 3 corners to get the pass done. You've got 40 seconds in total to let the guys go. Troy Dolenchik dropping off circuit though, and that throws him out of the running to Yuri Umpi-Swart and Byron Mitchell, unless he has a burst of speed, unless something goes wrong. I think he's going to have to be content with that 3rd place, but it does start him in 3rd place in the 2nd heat coming up right after this one. So don't go anywhere, folks. Byron Mitchell trying to gain a little bit of time. Yuri Umpi-Swart looks to the inside, couldn't get the pass. Is he going to try go late on the brakes? Does so. Peter Meyer moving out of the way to allow the cars to go through. Byron Mitchell going and just utilizing, not getting caught out there. Yuri Umpi-Swart looks to the inside line, couldn't get the pass just as yet. His time's running out. Checkered flag will come out. Byron Mitchell will be crossing the line and looking to take 1st place ahead of Yuri Umpi-Swart. And the two of them, unfortunately, having a bit of contact. Troy Dolenchik in 3rd. Christopher Radloff comes across the line in 4th place. Luke Lekezi, Mahayath Musa out in 6th place. Werner Swart taking the checkered flag for the Pro-Am class. Cameron Bastos out in 2nd place. Andre Seradio in 3rd, along with Noah Hendricks. Yuppie Simmons along with Herben Lazarus, Brandon Roberts. Doug Herber still trying to make up some time. Ryan Ottens also closing down distance. Nico Killerman with Vassal Mart actually gaining a position over Artie Nachel. So Vassal needs to really focus on here. He is representing his country. He is fighting it out for his countrymen and showing what he can do. Can he catch up to Nico Killerman? I think it's a little bit too far for that, but he needs to stay ahead of Artie Nachel, who is going to give it everything he can. Leon Vessels still making his way through. He's in 19th position, 1st time out, and I do want to say one thing. Leon, well done for not throwing in the towel and getting to the line despite everything, despite the carnage in Heat 1, in the start of Heat 1. Peter Meyer coming across the line in 20th position. So good to see drivers now crossing the line after Heat 1 puts a bit of a challenging effort for everyone. So as we wait for the official results to come out, well, I would say not official, but close enough to that. We have got, for our Pro Class, Byron Mitchell taking the win, along with Yuri Swart, Troy Dolenchik, Christopher Radloff, along with Luke Lekezi, Mahath Musa, Noah Hendricks, Ryan Ottens, Nico Killerman, Artie Nachel, Peter Meyer, Willem Buerta, Timothy Stanton, and Tristan de Norbriger rounding out in 14th place. Taking a look at our Pro-Am results, though, we have got Werner Swart, Cameron Bastos, Andre Seradio, Yuppie Simons, along with Herman Lazarus, Brandon Roberts, Doug Herber, Vassal Vermaat up into 8th place, Leon Vessels, Farney Graveseen, Alex Petro, Jean-Andre Kierman, Christopher Bush, Vaynard Kursup, Issam Domingo, Wesley Lewin, Jaco Krobler, Vic Petro, and Roloff Tolman going and getting himself into 19th position. What a race. What a race, ladies and gentlemen. We have got 5 minutes before we head to the grid for our second heat, and our drivers will be lining up to get themselves sorted out, trying to figure out what's going to work for them, how are they going to move forward, what is going to be needed to stand on the top of the charts. Not going to be an easy run here. Remember, our top 5 will be reversed come the start of the race. So expect to see the grids changing out in the top 5, and we're going to see cars going to war once again. But with the second heat, it does allow drivers to improve from their last race. You take what you learned, you move forward, and what's going to work for you right here at Virginia International Raceway. It's good to be here for the SA Lube F4 Cup, powered by RaceFace.Pro. Good to have you guys all here. Good to see everyone enjoying their time. Dezo Sachs saying, GG Leon Vessels, nice race. Good to see that. And I want to hear from you guys out in the grandstand, circling around the world. Who are you supporting? Who are you expecting to see cross the line? And I want to see predictions of who's going to take the championship in Pro and Pro-Am come the end of the SA Lube F4 Cup Season 4 right here at Virginia International Raceway. Is round 1. And I want to know from you guys, everyone from the spectator stands, because it is absolutely incredible to see all the support. Laser Gun saying Leon Vessels all the way will claw his way to victory. So I like to see that. And there we got Norman Lewis saying, let's go, Leon. Have my babies. Laser Gun saying, that's it. That's it. Going and putting in the support. So lots of support for Leon. Vaynard Kursop, of course, supporting myself. But Vaynard, you've already conquered. How many kilometers did you do of riding on a bicycle? And then you're now jumping into the sim rig to go racing, while your daughter is around as well, giving you grey hairs, might I add. All the missus going and pulling up the slack there, and you ensure you're making a bit of coffee there. Nico Killerman saying, drivers, put your relatives on. So just reminding guys to utilize the tools at hand, relatives being a very good one to utilize. So good to see that a little bit of a helpful advice coming in. And Leon, the Chad Vessels, Norman Lewis going in saying, good to see it. 160 kilometers, Vaynand. Are you mad? Like, genuine. Are you insane? So I just want to point out for everyone in the spectators watching now and watching in the future, the entire trip that he did was 273 kilometers. I just want everyone to I love taking these moments a bit out of sim racing, a bit out of the world of motorsport. For anyone who knows me, I've been in the world of motorsport, but I do love going and talking about the drivers that have done something different out of the world of motorsport. So can I get a GG's or flames or anything, even a round of applause for Vaynand Kursop completing 160 kilometers of riding a bicycle, the whole trip of 273 kilometers. So just a GG's out there, a bit of recognition. The chap really worked his backside off, and yeah, Vaynand, for myself, well done, Wobble, you did it. It's always lovely to see things like that. Couple of interesting ones. I've managed to have a chat to a couple of drivers, and one of them was actually Nico Killerman, who started his world of racing in total, was actually starting from RC cars. He's a multi-champion in radio-controlled electric cars, not the petrol ones. He did try nitro, but started his racing there, then moved into the world of motocross. Let's take a look at the grid, though, as we've got Luke Lucchesi out in first place, followed by Christopher Radloff, Troy Dolanchik, Yurian Piswat, Byron Mitchell, Mahath Musa, Werner Swat, Cameron de Bastos will be making up some time. He is down in 8th place, then followed by Andres Seradio, Noah Hendricks, Yuppie Simons, Herman Lazarus, Brandon Robert, Doug Herbert, Ryan Ottens, Nico Killerman, Vasil Famarts, Artie Narkel, Leon Vessels, Peter Meyer, Fanny Gravestein, Alex Petro, Jean-Ric Herman, Willem Buerta, Christopher Brosch, Vaynand Kursop, Essam Domingo, Vesely Lewin, Jaco Krobler, along with Vic Petro, Timothy Stanton, Tristan de Norbrigger, and Rolf Tolman will be rounding out our field here tonight as we look to go racing once again. Remember, Pro and Pro-Am final heat of the night, ladies and gentlemen. I want to hear everyone shout, scream, and scream from the top of your lungs on all the drivers as we get to go for Heat 2 of the SA Lube F4 Cup right here at Virginia International. Who's going to get it? Will Luke Lucchesi have a bit of redeeming as he jumps off the line? Christopher Radloff having a bit of a poor start has got Troy Dolanchik up on the inside of him, and Yurian Piswat going and defending against Byron Mitchell. Mahath Musa, though, looking to try and get his way around. looks around the outside. Cameron Bastos getting ahead of Werner Swart under turn 1. Will be standing on the gas to try and break away. But out in front, Luke Lucchese immediately losing that drive. Has got Troy Dolenchik coming at him. Uriumpi Swart doing everything he can. There is contact behind. There is cars broken. There is carnage. And it looks like that we had Cameron Bastos getting taken out there, along with one of the... Oh man, there's a couple of cars out that's taken a bit of a knock there. Off the start of the line. Oh man. But out in front, Luke Lucchese, Troy Dolenchik trying to make up some time. They're doing everything they can to get a little bit more drive. And yeah, just a couple of cars a little bit bent and broken after that one. Let's see if we can go back a little bit and just see what happened. This Cameron Bastos, it looked like he made contact with one of the cars. And that might have been one of the Alpha E sports cars. So now there is a whole bunch of the rest in peace vehicles out on the circuit, unfortunately. But they do have some fast repairs. In other words, the pit crew has spares in the pits. They just need to get those cars back to the pits, whether it be towed or under its own power. They'll get lifted up, suspension joints changed out within a couple of seconds. Noses, wings, engines, gearboxes, the whole works. They literally jump into a brand new car. For anyone that remembers Formula 1 back in the 80s and the 70s, where you could just go into your second vehicle. You could just jump vehicles. Or even Formula E. They used to swap vehicles. Troy Dolenchik going and running out a little bit wide. Luke Lucchese onto the back of him. Uriumpi Swart in third place. Byron Mitchell in fourth place. Slowly gaining a little bit of time at this point. Trying to make his way through. Werner Swart up into fifth place. First of our Pro-Ams with Noah Hendricks doing everything he can. Andres Ferrario trying to make up a bit of time as well. It looked like carnage ensued. Christopher Radloff, Mahath Musa, Brandon Roberts, Cameron Bastos, Vessel from Mars was also part of that carnage that happened a little bit earlier on. But Troy Dolenchik leading out the run with Luke Lucchese putting a fair amount of pressure onto the back of him, but he cannot lift as Uriumpi Swart's right up to the back of his gearbox, going and fighting out. Looks onto the inside, couldn't get onto the power early enough, will have to get it back into the tow. Follow the slipstream through. You'll see them starting to weave ever so slightly. All that's doing is trying to snap that slipstream. He's trying to stop the airflow. What's happening? Because the front car, the leading car, is punching a hole in the air, which means the car behind you is going to get a little bit more speed. And as we can see, Luke Lucchese utilizing that, ran up on the inside, got the pass hooked in, and unfortunately runs out a little bit wide. That's going to allow Troy Dolenchik to come back at him. Luke does push him over the curb, so saying, nobody, no, this is not going to happen. Troy Dolenchik immediately onto the back of him. Uriumpi Swart going to go 3 wide. Byron Mitchell looking to also try and get into the fight to this. 4 cars looking to go into turn 1. 3 looking to go abreast. Byron Mitchell looks towards the dirt. He second guessed it, deciding he's not quite a rally car. 3 wide into turn 1. This is going to be close. And all 3 made it. Sort of. But Uriumpi Swart just getting onto the dirt. But if I can have any photo moment for F4s, that will be one of them. That will definitely be one of those you put on the wall and enjoy, because 3 wide into turn 1's no easy feat, especially how close they were to one another's suspensions. Not going to be fun in the long run. You can easily hook, jump over the guy's wheels, and land up with both races being broken at the end of it, because these cars are rather fragile. They are built for speed. They are not built for dinging doors. As Luke Lucchese goes and loses a lot of drive, Byron Mitchell closes up that gap quite quickly. He had to back off the throttle. Luke Lucchese, though, sideways. Those rear tires hurting a huge amount. And I think he's used a lot of those tires. He's gone and heated them up quite quickly, and maybe going and putting too much heat into the tires. He's going to have to back it off a little bit, let it cool down, and get back into the fray of things. So stop sliding it through the corners. Stop having so much turn angle. Just let the tires come back to you and then get pushing, because you do have a fair amount of time racing. But Luke Lucchese losing one position, now is going to have Yuri Swat onto the back of him and give it everything he's got as well. So not going to be an easy fight here as a nose-to-tail racing between them. Heading towards turn 1, Yuri Swat tries to look to get past, not finding it easy at the moment, and will be thinking, if I go a little bit later on the brakes, if I can go that little bit more, I should be able to get it. But Luke Lucchese closing off the gap there. Taking a look further down through the field. 5th place, Werner Swart. He's starting to gain a little bit of time on them, and he is first of our Pro-Ams. So after being a little bit further down, he's looking to try and get a double checkered here at Virginia International. Not going to be an easy time. It is going to be a monumental fight of note between it. So he is into 5th place. Andres Radio is in 7th, second of our Pro-Ams. They are split by Noah Hendricks. You can see just there in shot. Noah Hendricks in the black F4. And I've got to say one thing about the asymmetric racing Noah Hendricks is he's kept the same color scheme throughout his iRacing career. If you want to know how committed he is to it, I think it's going on 5 years that he's had the same color scheme. So to Noah Hendricks, well done. I do know he streams on Twitch, and the reason he streams on Twitch is not what you think. It's not for viewership, it's not for providing entertainment, it's so he can go back, re-watch his race and his movements with the data telemetry that he's got and see where things are. So a person that is hyper focused on getting the best data has come up with a very interesting way to do it, where they're not worrying about the chats, they're not worrying about what's happening in terms of viewership and trying to make entertaining content. He is just making sure that he can get the performance out, and it's actually rather interesting to watch his onboard, and I love it, absolutely love it from his side of things. Luke Lucchese onto the back of Yuri Swat. He is now giving a little bit of room. Werner Swart starting to feel the pressure from Noah Hendricks right behind. Andres Radio has got Ryan Ottens. Andres Radio, Ryan Ottens, they both come from the world of Assetto Corsa Competizione. Ryan Ottens with the fastest lap time of the race so far, and he is trying to gain a bit of time on Andres Radio. These two have come to blows over the years here in RaceFace.Pro and across the world of sim racing. So it's good to see them back on the track once again after Ryan Ottens taking his retirement from Assetto Corsa Competizione and focusing on iRacing in this day and age. So great to see it. And this is starting to turn into our closer pack of the racing between them all, as our front starting to open up the distances between one another. So good to see the drivers making their way through. But Werner Swart's leading Pro-Am. Noah Hendricks is lying 5th in Pro. Andres Radio is lying 2nd in Pro-Am. So he is really hammering it as he sees that he has an opportunity to take the gold right now. Ryan Ottens, though, is running in 6th in Pros. Now, what can happen is you play a little bit of a swap. You let the Pro go, utilize him to barge his way through, and you gain the time. Try and think about the classes that you're racing. RT Narkle down in 9th position has got Nico Killerman right on the back of him. The Jotech Simworks Racing driver. Gotta say, good to see that he's picked up the sponsor of Jotech. So well done, Nico. Keep going, keep pushing, and good to see that. Looking forward to seeing all the rigs. I know my rig is more of a homemade tubing, but doesn't beat the aluminium frames that are getting made at our different shops all around the country, like Jotech. Peter Meyer onto the back of him, looks to try and get past as well. They got Isam Domingo trying to close down the gap as well. Our Alpha 1 Esports trying to carve his way through. Unfortunately, that is the number 15 car that landed up in a problem earlier on. That was Christopher Radloff that lost a bit of time. Oh, and we got a disconnect from someone, unfortunately. That was RT Narkle that looked like he's dropped out. Yep, RT Narkle has had a connection disconnect that's gonna hurt. Herman Lazarus fighting out with Alex Petro, the son of Vic Petro, coming over from the world of real world racing. Was out of single seaters for quite some time, took up cycling, and has done really well. Also took up going and doing obstacle course running like the Warrior race that happened, so good to see him out there. He is looking to try and gain a little bit of time. Timothy Stanton immediately onto the back of him. Timothy moving over from Pro-Am to Pro after winning the long race. So absolutely tremendous stuff. Then we have got Chandra Kiriman going and booting his way through. Liam Vessels, Farney Gravenstein trying to make his way through. And with Visti Stalgrad saying, as long as it's not plastic straws are made of, it's good to see Visti Stalgrad coming back. For anyone that doesn't know him, he's out in the grandstands. Also one of the drivers that race here in RaceFace.Pro. Good to see you, Visti. Been a long time. Hopefully the rig is ready. You got yourself all comfy in the new home, because we're looking forward to seeing you back on the circuit. Vasil Fomart, part of the Ukrainians, now fighting out with Yuppie Simons. First time these two have come to blows with one another, and they're having Cameron Bastos trying to make up some time. He's down in 12th position in class and hoping that he can put a little bit more of an impact here tonight. So Troy Dolanchik keeping ahead of Byron Mitchell. Let's talk about this little battle going on, because this is first overall, first in pro. And Byron Mitchell, who didn't get too far up in the championship last season for the SA Lube F4 Cup, he's now looking to make an impact here tonight against Troy Dolanchik. And just to let you know, I mean, Troy Dolanchik, for not so long ago, was racing in OKL SA, which is Online Karting League South Africa, in karts, now transitioning into the F4 in the same night. So I do want to point that out, that he has really gone and challenged it out by racing in two different sims, two different formats of racing, both requiring absolute precise driving. And it's really good to see him out there putting in the effort. And I know that he's getting a lot of support from the Online Karting League South Africa community saying, go buddy, go. Let's see how it's going to work. The Sujin car getting ahead of Byron Mitchell just narrowly, and Byron Mitchell hanging on at this point. He's going to try and look to go around the outside, backs out of it, and you do know that Byron Mitchell's getting a little bit of a chat with the captain, Peter van der Spey, saying, listen buddy, you were my teammate in endurance racing. You need to make it work here in the race tonight. There's no give, there's no falling out. You've got to give it everything you can. And Byron Mitchell, part of Dolphin Motorsport, working on a variety of cars, has been able to drive a variety of cars and transition that into the world of sim racing, honing those settings a little bit more to ensure that he gets the jump. Yurion Piswat also doing everything he can. Yurion Piswat actually will be racing in endurance racing in 2 weeks time, 10 days, with the likes of Cara Hill. So good to see that he's getting a little bit of practice in, trying to keep his eye in. I asked him about the world of sim racing and how that transitions over. He says it's just to keep the eye in, because you get to fight it out with some of the best drivers in South Africa. And that's the main thing we love to see. Troy Dolanchik going defensive, holding the inside line, goes to the middle of the circuit. Byron Mitchell looks to the outside, backs out of it, second guesses to go for the pass. Late on the brakes, going to look for the inside line. Couldn't get it all hooked up, but was a little bit slower through that last section. That allowed Yurian Piswat to come back at him. Luke Kukezi trying to gain a little bit of ground as well. So our top four starting to close up the gap on one another. And then you have got Ryan Ottens and Noor Hendricks that are on top of one another. Andre Serradio, who is in his debut season right here in the SA Lube. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Do apologize. We had a spontaneous disconnect here in the broadcast studio. So, taking a look at the running order, it is Troy Dolanchik, Byron Mitchell, Urian P. Swart taking third place, followed by Luke Riquezi, Ryan Ottens, Andre Serradio taking top of the Pro-Am, followed by Noah Hendricks, Werner Swart, second place of our Pro-Am, followed by Peter Meyer, Willem Buerta, Wesley Lewin coming across the line, also doing a phenomenal job in his run. Once again, I do humbly apologize for that spontaneous disconnect right here in the broadcast studio. Unfortunately, force majeure took us out of the race. Right, taking a look, we've got Werner Swart, second place of our Pro-Ams, Peter Meyer taking in Pros, Willem Buerta is in our Pros, followed by Wesley Lewin, Nico Kellerman, Farney Gravenstein, Basil Formarts, Hippie Simons, Cameron de Bastos a little bit, clawing his way through the order, Leon Vessels, Christopher Bosch, Issam Domingo, Jaco Krobler making his way up into 20th position, 21st Alex Petro, right ahead of Dad, Vic Petro, along with John J. Kierman, Timothy Stanton, Christopher Radloff, Brandon Roberts, Mahath Musa, Vano Kursup, Herman Lazarus, Artie Nachel, Doug Herber, Tristan de Norbrigger, and Roloff Tillman, unfortunately not making the grid once again. That will be throwing him out of the order. So, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we do humbly apologize for the disconnect in the stream. And unfortunately, force majeure going and taking us out of the running there. And does look like we have a bit of information. Might one of the drivers having to unfortunately withdraw out of the race due to a family emergency, and we do wish the family well. So not a easy run for our drivers right here at Virginia International Raceway, and we will see to get some commentary, bit of a chat with all the drivers as they make their way through. For the SA Lube F4 Championship. As we wait it out, we will have our official driver standings coming out a little bit later, so keep an eye on social media. Where did Andre finish in the Pro-Am class? I will be able to give you that bit of information. So we have got Andre Serradio. He actually finished first in the Pro-Am class in his debut outing. So Andre Serradio, or Gabriel, can you please tell Andre Serradio to come through? I know he's very, very shy to come in the commentary box after all the time. I mean, I thought we knew each other so well, but just it would be nice to have him come in the commentary box and come have a chat, scoring his first win for the evening. So, first of our commentary, let's bring in Cameron de Bastos. Cameron, welcome to the commentary box. What a race out there. Heat 1 looked like it was going your way. Unfortunately, a spin going and compromising that. Heat 2, it just looked like it was a parking lot. Unfortunately, nowhere to go. And you left to the wayside on that. What's running through your mind right now? I understand a bit of a gutting situation, not what you want to have, but you were able to still put in the pace there. Take us through what you're feeling.
Good evening, Stephen. Good evening, everybody out there. Yeah, race 1 didn't have the best start possible. Seems like the clutch didn't want to let go properly. And, well, the last bit of the clutch. And, yeah, had a good battle with Andre there. Went side by side through that quick little kink there. That's good. The left-handed kink right before the top. He tried to go inside. I braked, unfortunately, and yeah, he just went spinning. We were discussed between the two heats. And yeah, second to last lap, I decided, you know what, let's try and get a better drive chuck it into third gear instead of my normal second, and the rear decided to step out. And yeah, at that point was just making sure not to crash into Werner. Yeah, and then he too. No words for that really. Well, no words that were safe. You can say. No, so it's just had a good start, a brilliant start there, and yeah,
Accidents
it's an
happen.
accident. It's an
So
accident. So yeah.
with the second round, 2 weeks time, bit of practice coming in, the thought process, putting this one behind you, a difficult circuit behind you. What's the mentality? What's the gear shift to move to your future races right here at the SA Lube F4 Cup?
Well, I'm definitely not gonna. Well, try and be more careful. It seems that a lot of the drivers, if you don't really know yet where to race them, as many of them are quite new, so it's still a bit touch and go to not go and to know how to race them properly. Well, race them coming from some of them come from ACC, but haven't spent much time in our racing side, so it's still a bit just trying to feel each other out, see where we can go from there. And yeah, from there on, just practice circuit. Well, the next circuit, Jerez, I just call it Jerez, is one that was raced last season. Unfortunately, I missed that one just a little bit. But it's not a new track, one I did practice before, so I know what to do, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, not out of the race just yet. You can still pull a lot of it back. So keep your head up, keep your head held high, and get ready to go racing once again. You got this, and you are busy showing it around the world. So thank you very much, Cameron Bastos. Take a breather, go and have a drink, go sit back and relax, and enjoy a bit of downtime. Look forward to chatting to you again in the very, very near future.
Yep. Thanks, Steven, and yeah, thanks everybody. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Thank you to SA Lube for sponsoring us again. Well, sponsoring the season again there, and then also just a shout out to my team, Team Eep Together there, and all our sponsors there from Track Angels, BVG Projects, Galami, Marshall Association, Swart Coast Marshals Clubs, the HSSA of South Africa, and the SCC of South Africa. Really appreciate them for allowing me to race. And yeah, thanks everybody.
Absolutely great stuff. So just had a chat with Cameron on the run. Let's bring in our first of our Pro-Ams in Heat 2. Andre Serradio, welcome to the commentary box. You and I have chatted in the past in the Setta Corsa Competizione. This time, a little bit different. You finally joined the side that's right. And that is a car with no wheel arches on it. The engine's in the right place, and the car's a lot more fun than a GT3. But how are you feeling with that? Heat 1 was a learning curve of note. You had to feel out the competition, good side-by-side moments. But then Heat 2 seemed like it all just clicked. You got that rhythm in you, and, well, you left everyone in a bit of cloud of smoke, if I can put it that way.
Thank you for the compliments. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, iRacing is a different ballpark, and it's very interesting. It's very interesting because this is the first time I've done proper league racing in iRacing. So, as you were saying, very much a learning curve. Heat 1, I thought the car was on a knife's edge, so I didn't really try hone in as much as I could. I was just trying to survive, and I do have to apologize to Cameron because I might have knocked him in the early stages of the race, and I did not intend to do that. But yeah, I'm trying not to repeat the mistakes. But Heat 2 was, as you said, significantly better. Oh man, racing with Ottens is something else. It's such a joy. It's such a joy. That last lap tussle was just such a joy. I have literally no words for it.
Well, I mean, Ryan Ottens and yourself have done battles in the past in GT3 racing, and to see the two names start coming back onto the circuit after a very long hiatus away from one another, was it like reuniting with a fellow friend on the track, or was it reuniting with a fellow rival that you want to go and ensure that you get a little bit more pace over?
So I don't want to be like that person who holds a grudge or whatever. But for me, it's that's the benchmark, you know? There's certain people where you look at them and you're like, I need to beat them. eventually, sooner or later, I need to beat them. I think this is one of these moments where it's like I wasn't overtly competitive. I think I was also enjoying the moment. So I guess it's friendly rivalry. That's the best way to put it.
Friendly rivalry, and getting to see the likes of Troy Dolenchik, Byron Mitchell, Yuri Swart, Luke Lucchese, the front end of the field starting to open and stretch their legs a bit. What's your thoughts of being around those drivers you've never fought with at any time in your sim racing career till now?
Well, I have been around the likes of Tristan de Nobrega and Luke Lucchese, but very, very rarely. And it's been like, I kid you not, years since I've like driven against them. So to be back on and to be in like an environment where they genuinely thrive and excel at, I think, I don't know, man, it makes me really fired up, and it makes me so sad because like the next race I'm not going to be able to drive just because of the fact that I don't have Jerez. But like, I don't know, man, I'm just looking really forward to the next iRacing race I do. It's just been so much fun.
We'll have to see if we can rectify that. Maybe Project Vapor can lend a little bit of hand, or maybe a anonymous person to help out Andre Serradio to see whether he can continue his fight. Andre, thank you very much. And like always, like I always like to do, there is a bit of time in the box where you can go and thank anyone that's out there in the chat now and in the future, also sponsors, or if you want to go and put a little bit of shout out, you can add a bit of spice as well to your competitors now that you have arrived at the SA Lube F4 Cup.
Yeah, so shout out to everyone on track where we had like genuine battles. It was really, really fun, and like I did not have any breather, and it was just constant fun. It was just great. Thank you guys. Also, really big shout out to my team, and also to Moath Musa. He really did help me hone into the sim and track, and he got me to like get pushed off the edge in terms of like competing in iRacing. So yeah, very much thank you to the lads every single step of the way. They just great 24/7. Thank you.
And welcome to the sim that most people say they don't want to quite deal with, but you coming in and having a bit of fun, and unfortunately ACC is going to feel like driving a brick after this one. Thank you very much, Andre Serradio. Yeah, good to have you.
Always.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. Next drivers I want to bring in is actually 3 drivers at the same time. Troy Dolenchik, Byron Mitchell, and Yuri Swart. So let's bring them through. So we got Yuri Swart, Byron Mitchell, and Troy Dolenchik, and I just brought them in right as they were having a discussion. Do apologize for that. I should have sent a warning. But I wanted to have all 3 of you in the box because Heat 1 to Heat 2 was madness, even to the point of 3 wide into turn 1, which is insanity come the race. How are you guys feeling after that?
Who's gonna go first?
Well, let's start off with Troy Dolenchik getting the win in Heat 2. So Troy, how's it? You're returning, you're holding on to the crown but you had Yuri Swart, who's got the bit between his teeth after narrowly missing out on the championship last season, and now you're having to have a bit of a fight once again.
Yeah, look, I think just the racing on the track was really good. The track made for good racing, and there was very big slip. So the first heat especially, it was really enjoyable. Byron, and Luke and I were all really doing basically the same lap time, so that was really awesome to see, and the racing was very good and clean, which, as you know, is quite difficult to do on this game a lot of the time with the netcode you get. So it was really cool to see us all racing close for a change. You don't get the opportunity that much with a lot of the other cars. But yeah, I got a little bit of damage in the first race, so I dropped off, and then Byron and sort of pulled away. But yeah, the second race was a bit more in my favor. Got a nice gap towards the middle of the race, and Byron started closing me down with him bringing along. So yeah, I just had to hold it off for about the last 3 or 4 laps. Yeah, it was quite challenging because, you know, the slip plays a big role here. So it's all about playing the slip card right, and knowing when to put the car in the right place, and knowing where you should be on the last lap. So yeah, it was quite difficult again on the last lap. I didn't want to let pass and strategize to try and get him on the back straight, because that's always a risk you're willing to take to sacrifice track position. But yeah, I got a bit lucky with Umpi trying something different, and I got a nice drive out of the double right, and from there it was quite good because Umpi couldn't really get a drive from there, and him and Byron were side by side. So from there, I knew more or less that if they're side by side, they can't really make a move into the twisty. So yeah, that gave me a nice run to the line.
That brings me on to my next driver, and I'd like to go and have a chat to Yuri Umpi Swat. I mean, Yuri, you had a fantastic time out there, making up some time from last season, getting to put in the fight. How are you feeling now that you're a little bit closer? You got to go and get a little bit more of the hammer down. What's the plan in the long run?
Yeah, no, tonight was extremely fun. I was lucky to get Byron on board as well to add to the action. All in all, look, regarding tonight, I think it was the coolest we've ever raced on this game. I think we got lucky with the server or something because we were all banging and barging wheels the whole race, and everyone ended up finishing, which even during the race we were all saying like we don't know how we're still racing. So you know, just super happy. Regarding the season, I mean, we just take it race by race. If every race is like this, I don't think any of us care where we finish. You know what I mean? As long as we all finish every race, it's probably going to come down to the final round or race anyway, no matter what. If it ends up like this. Obviously, if we keep racing like this, I do feel like inevitably something's going to give, but hopefully it's not for me. But
I like that.
see.
I like that. Hopefully
see,
it's not me. I love
it was
that.
fantastic. So thank you again for hosting it and allowing us this opportunity to race. It was super sick. I enjoyed it a lot.
It's always fantastic to have you guys around. But Byron Mitchell coming in, having a bit of fun. And now into round one, you're going to have to really push hard at the moment because I just did a quick calculation rough on the points, and it does look like you may be slightly ahead. But how are you feeling after the race, looking at your competitors, looking how close the racing is? What's the game plan from your side to beat Troy Dolenchik, the reigning king of the F4s, and Yuri Umpi Swat looking to usurp the kingdom and stomp his dominance? You're the wild card in the mix.
Yeah, thanks, Stephen. So obviously, I think I agree with what Umpi said. If we can just, if we have close racing, race by race, going forward, I don't think either of us will take it to heart, you know, who finishes first, second, third. Obviously, we've all been racing together for so long, so the respect's always been there. But yeah, let's hope we can get some more fun, interesting tracks that allow for clean racing like we had tonight. And yeah, I think it's going to be exciting. Definitely one for the spectators to enjoy.
So we need to bring in street circuits. That's what you guys are saying.
Baku, bring in Baku iRacing. We need that long slip straight.
Yes, and Monaco.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so Monaco, so you can go and crash it into the pit lane. I think there's a couple of tracks that do that. But while I've got all three of you around, I just want to say on behalf of all the spectators, thank you very much for the phenomenal racing. Even Luke Lucchese hanging in there and putting on a phenomenal. We're looking forward to the season. Just seeing you guys fight it out. But I'm always one to try and stir the pot a little bit. So the floor is going to be yours to PG, keep it friendly for kids, but you are allowed to add a bit of spice if you're thanking or if you're challenging. You add a little bit of spice if you wish to go and push your rivals a little bit in 2 weeks' time. We're going to start off with the king of the F4s, the three-time champion, undefeated, Troy Dolenchik. The floor is yours, dear sir.
What must I say?
Hey!
What am I supposed to say? I thank and challenge. I thank you guys for hosting the race.
Even excuse us. I'm sorry.
I thank you guys for hosting a race. The stream was always is and will always be very good. So thank you to you, Stephen. Very good commentary as always. Umpi for breaking my front wing in the first race. Thank you very much. And to my family for always watching, thank you very much. And I challenge you all to the next race to have as good and as close racing.
Ah, there we go. You know, gracious as ever, it seems. Yuri Umpi Swat for going and challenging the kingdom to dethrone the king after he has had a dominating time. What have you say?
Yeah, look, I think last season, there is a bit something left on the table. I had some bad luck the last round, and lost out a little bit here and there. So I think this year I'm gonna put some more effort in, and yeah, I think it's time that Troy takes a step back and sees that there's a new single-seater man in town. That's what I think.
So maybe an early retirement for Troy Dolanchik.
I
That's
agree,
rather
yes.
that's
Back to
unfortunate.
school.
There we go. We're gonna let the front wheel. We're gonna allow the saloon driver to kind of hurry him along. Byron Mitchell, the driver that's going to keep an eye out. The Joker card of all at the moment. Well, you got everyone guessing. Anything you would like to say to your competitors or anyone to the spectators out here in the SA Lube F4 Championship?
Yeah, yeah, it was really good fun. I don't know, this is interesting. Yeah, I definitely say thanks to the spectators. Obviously, motorsport's very orientated around the spectators. So without the spectators, there wouldn't be, it would just be people driving around a track endlessly, which would be kind of boring. So obviously the spectators make a big role. I would just like to say a huge thanks to my right foot. It gave me a few heart attacks this race, a few too many. And also, Umpi, lekker man, you bungoing my heart there in turn 1 on the second race there. And yeah, I don't know. Where's Luke?
You should thank the back marker for your slip at the end.
Yeah, where's that guy? I needed the first race. Heat 1. He gave me a nice slip down the back straight on the last lap, which saved me big time. Otherwise, Umpi would have had a sneaky look there. But yeah, where's Luke Lucchesi? I think that oak deserves to come and say something as well.
Unfortunately, it's curfew at the retirement home for him.
Yeah. He definitely drove. He drove well for an old bully, as we call him.
Yeah.
Oh boy, you know what? You guys are going to be knackered next race. He's going to arrive and, well, he's going to be a little bit more awake during this whole chat. I'll make sure to clip it and send it to him. But thank you very much to you three. Really excited to see the 3 drivers in our pros that are going to duke it out for the race. And with Circuit Alvarez coming in the next race in round 2 weeks' time, there's going to be lots of work on that circuit. Very challenging up and down through the corners and also lots of camber changes. With a fixed setup, well, let's see who's going to be able to get the slipstream on that one.
Steven, where did you say the next track was?
Circuit Jerez.
Where's that?
Spain.
In the middle of nowhere.
Okay, it's Spain. Okay,
I think.
thank you.
Well, it's fine. You got Circuit Jerez in round 2, then you got Circuit de Lidion in round 3, and then you got Bathurst in round 4. So you've got circuits that pretty much are Virginia but longer.
Yeah, perfect. Cool.
Thanks, Steven.
Thanks,
Lekker, man.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Lekker, bongo. Cheers.
Oh, absolutely incredible stuff. I love to hear the challenges. I love to hear the drivers just having a ton of fun. Once again, I do humbly apologize for the internet disconnect right here in the studio. Unfortunately, force majeure happened for whatever rhyme or reason. We will investigate. We will make sure to come back better, stronger, faster, and have some great racing for round 2 in 2 weeks' time. But coming up this week, right here in RaceFace.Pro, we do have this weekend on Assetto Corsa Competizione, the RaceFace 24 Hours of Nordschleife. That is happening this weekend. Do not miss out on Assetto Corsa Competizione. Take a look on SimGrid down in the description below if you would like to join up with RaceFace.Pro. Make sure you hit the subscribe button along with the bell notification icon. And do take a look at SA Lube, the leader of the Castrol distribution in Africa. 20 years plus going in, and also powering the future of motorsport being here in the world of sim racing. From myself, Stephen Koenig, and the entire THT Productions, from Tim the cameraman to Jim out there on the circuit in the blue for every single corner. Big thank you to them, and we'll see you guys next time right here at RaceFace.Pro. And like always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody, all the way from Virginia International Raceway.